I was a kid, 14 years old. All my cousins and stuff were using, drinking, smoking weed, having fun. I wasn't real popular. Always got picked on, I guess. I wanted to be cool like them. And one thing led to another, ended up in prison, stealing Harleys, not taking care of myself. "52 months and 24 days. It took me 16 years to finish a 5-year sentence. Being on parole, running from parole, just taking forever. My last time when I skipped parole, I was like 6 days from long way discharging, and I ran.
Why?
Just to get loaded. Came up here, caught another case, and was getting 3 ways back to my parole officer in Texas, and she was like, "Well, you're the dumb one, you could have been off parole in 6 days, but you decided to leave."
Yeah.
And I felt real little. It was, terrible. The one thing that I've gained that I don't ever want to give up is looking in the mirror and telling myself that I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
When I got out of jail, I stayed at the Shove House, a clean and sober environment, and I had nowhere to go in Texas, didn't know anybody. My brother's still up here, he's still using. And going to a 12-step program was the only place I had to go, being bored, not knowing anything. And I was on probation up here. And during that time, about a month before I was gonna get off paper, they legalized pot. Well, they let me off 2 weeks early, so I went back to smoking pot. Got in a toxic relationship, and during that time, that didn't work out. Then me being homeless, living in my truck, almost trading my truck for some weed. Like, it was terrible. Coming back to the rooms, seeing that, I guess I hurt a bunch of people's feelings, but didn't understand why. And then just staying and trying to build back them friendships. And making friendships and then seeing people go back out and feeling that type of way as the other people did that I did to them, I understood where they were coming from. So, and just not giving up and just continuing, I have a career now. I never thought, being a convicted felon, I have a chance to get my gun rights back. Being a confirmed gang member, like, I don't know, it's crazy, living a one-sided life and not living outside the box. Not like being around all mixed races. Not even really caring to then. I don't know, I'm just grateful that being able to be open-minded now, seeing all different walks of life. Just some fake love, man. Everybody in the dope game. Nobody wanting to do nothing for themselves. Always depending on people. I wouldn't recommend it to nobody. I don't ever have to worry about it. It's been 8 years since I've been locked up. I'm not tripping too much about that.
Yeah.
Well, some friends of mine told me either I can still use and not come over to their house, or get clean and come back over. You can't really tell nobody nothing that ain't ready. Couldn't tell me nothing, I was just tired. I wish I would have stayed in school. Like not being popular or liked in school, I had to get some kind of attention. It all falls back to my childhood, not having, I guess I've had father figures in my life, but not being able to, dad, everybody else doing it, me being jealous of that and having a lot of hate. So, I regret not being able to graduate, going to the military and doing all the stuff that I really wanted to do. Not being able to play football because my mom couldn't afford to put me in football in school or anything like that. We wasn't rich when we didn't have a lot of money, you know. I mean, I had nice clothes. They wasn't name brand stuff, but I had new clothes every year, you know, new shoes. Nothing like today. And it's weird, like now, because all the clothes that I had back in the day, I buy them now. And I'm like, what are you doing? And it's just what I'm used to wearing. I don't know, it's weird. It's crazy how life works, you know. Everybody getting new cars. I got a 98 S10. I love that truck. Yeah. Older truck, I can work on it. So yeah, I've always wanted new, expensive stuff, and now I have a chance to get it, and I really don't want it. I'm like, yeah, it costs too much money. Yeah, probably not, you know. I don't know, so it's weird. I guess being ungrateful as a kid. Reach out, ask for help, you know. Don't be afraid. Nobody likes change. I don't like change. Find a 12-step group. You know, there's resources out there. OBHC, DSHS, WorkSource is what got me in the right direction. What got me to believing that they believed in me. Miss Yvonne and Miss Bonnie are the two that like helped me in the right direction, you know. Yeah, just weird, like just weird. You know, when I first got in the shelf house, I didn't last a week, I got kicked out. Was never ever allowed to ever go back. A few years later, I went and talked to Mr. Mike, and he was like, just because you were honest with me when I kicked you out, I'm gonna let you back in. That gave me a little hope to know that, hey, maybe this is my last time, you know. Which is crazy, you know, and now I can go to his house now, you know, he didn't like me at all. No, not many people like me, but it don't matter. I like myself, and that's what I need to focus on. Yeah, it's easier to say that I'm gonna quit getting loaded versus doing it. It was a struggle for me. I had to quit people, places, and things, and it's hard to quit being around them places when I was comfortable with them places versus hanging out with people that are doing the next right thing. You know, all my friends, they're productive members of society. They work, have jobs, paying their own bills, doing all the stuff. And I have some friends that are going into that direction. I have a few friends that fell off, and it sucks, you know. I keep their head up and do their best to really not use. Staying clean is a struggle to an extent. Like, sometimes I just want to smoke pot because I have a job, I make good money, figure I'm productive, figure I can do it again. But then when I play the whole tape through, I know that I'm gonna smoke pot all the time. I'm not gonna be able to work because I ain't gonna be able to think straight, be screwing everything up. So I play all that forward, and it's less money that I'm gonna have to spend on whatever else that I want. So if I look at everything, like if I picture myself smoking some weed, I picture myself, can I look in the mirror and tell myself that I'm proud of myself? What would my mom think, you know? And that brings me back to reality that I can't do it. You know, I got friends that smoke pot, I have friends that drink every now and then. Like, must be nice, you know? I can't do that. I mean, if I drank one beer, it had to be a 55-gallon drum full of beer. That's one. Yeah. So, yeah, I can't do it. And it is what it is, you know, teach their own. But I can't do it. It was a process, you know, my first year in recovery, I was still acting a fool. You know, I ain't fought nobody in 3 years, and I'm working on 5 years clean. So, I struggle with that, you know, wanting to beat people up, wanting to act a fool, feeling like people taking my kindness for weakness, and just letting stuff go. You know, having a sponsor, working my steps. You know, it took me forever to work my 4th step. Finally went over it. You know, I'm halfway through my 5th step now. And just being able to see where I come and play, where all my faults were, where I did my part in things to make other things happen. Because nothing don't happen if I ain't putting any effort into it. So I'd say over time, it just don't happen. It didn't happen just for me. It wasn't just like a little light bulb clicked. Going to MRT, getting these new thinking skills that I have. I can think before I do something versus doing something and thinking about it. So I had a lot of people to thank for that. It's crazy. You want to get clean, you want to learn how to be a productive member of society. That's where I got my first apartment and where I got to pay my bills. It just helped me to where, be responsible, going to my classes, going to my groups, taking random UAs, going to work, paying, doing chores, like getting ready to get up out there. I stayed there 16 months. And just the best thing ever. Some people abuse it. Some people use it to their advantage. When I first got there, I struggled too because I was all in everybody's business. I was still toxic. And when I figured out that I just needed to worry about myself, everything started going a lot smoother. Being a little guy, having the last name Sprinkle, being made fun of all my life. I'm not so little no more. I use that to my advantage. I abused that factor. When I come home from prison, I was 200 pounds. And one of my real best friends I've known since I was 13, was like, oh, just because you're big, don't think you can push your weight around. I was like, what? I'm big? Oh, nice. And being locked up, I was like the littlest guy in there at 200 pounds. And so before I went to prison and when I come home, all through that, being picked on and everybody, it was something that I had to prove I wasn't little no more. We had to fight now. And when they wanted to fight, I didn't want to fight. I didn't, because I was little. Got beat up all the time, and that's pretty much, it was the excitement of punching somebody and knocking them out first hit. The relationships I have now, like with Lindsay, it's awesome. I mean, it's not perfect for everybody, but it's perfect for me. I'm happy. We communicate, when we do get in arguments, we figure it out, instead of just deuces, I'm out of here. I have people that'll call me on my stuff, I had one guy, a real good friend of mine, that I met before I went back out, Dustin. He knows when something's wrong, and he ain't afraid to talk to me, I have friendships and stuff that we don't talk anymore. It sucks. I miss it. But if somebody ain't trying to put the effort that I was trying, then it ain't even no use to continuing with it. But the relationships I have now, it's great. I know a lot of people all over the state and met a lot of people, going to Ocean Shores, meeting people, still having their phone numbers, talking to them. It's great being able to travel 100 miles to go to birthday meetings. I wouldn't give it up. And the main relationship that I have is with myself, waking up every day, being just proud, being able to go to work, going to work, coming home, having a home to come to. Just looking in the mirror, just being proud of myself, knowing that I'm all right and I'm gonna be all right, that I'm not mad at myself, relationships are different now, they ain't abusive, they ain't controlling, they ain't, what can I get off of you, me and Lindsay got together, I didn't have nothing. We become friends. We've been friends for 18 months before we got together. Heck, at the time I was trying to get with her, she didn't even like guys. She was straight liking women. and which is weird how that worked. But yeah, the relationships I do have, I don't take for granted. You know, it's great. We had help buying our first trailer, but we put a lot of work into it, you know, and we sold it and then bought another one. Like, just different, just weird, you know. We didn't just buy a nice house, we bought a house, you know, we did a lot of work to it. Like, I don't know, like, it's not real, you know, just like every day I wake up expecting it to be a dream. And just to know that we have our own home, it's makes me feel like I'm back in my childhood days, you know, not having no care in the world, that I'm gonna be all right. I don't know, it's weird. It doesn't feel real. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's good for you.
You know, some 12-step programs are anonymous, you know, and I'm not. And I just wanna, it's weird how to put it in words. I overthink things too much, so sometimes, and it's hard to, like the drug epidemic, everybody's doing it. You know, we can get everybody to get clean and be the people that they need to be, you know, versus somebody that we ain't. Yeah, pretty much like the drug epidemic, but different. Ain't nobody doing drugs. We ain't out stealing, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a little weird to put it in words, I guess. I've been through like 4 sponsors. And when my sponsor came and spoke at a church, I looked at Lindsay and was like, I think I found my sponsor. He got done talking, I was like, hey, you told my story, I need you to be my sponsor. You know, I didn't ask him if he would, I just told him that I need you to be my sponsor. Like, I don't know, it's great. You know, he's been where I've been. You know, I've been where he's been. And I know that, I feel that he understands everything that I go through. You know, not a lot of people have been to prison, been in the gang life, did all that stuff where I'm at right now in OMAC, you know. So it's kind of hard to relate to people there, you know. So, yeah, it's great. You know, we don't talk as much as we should, but I know when I do need him, he's there. So it's pretty great. People are only going to make the effort to be clean, get clean, and stay clean. You know, if they don't want it, they don't want it. They're not going to get it. I mean, people will want to be clean all the time, but if they ain't going to make the effort to get clean, then it's just not going to happen. I'm getting my CDLs hopefully pretty soon. I need to get a book, start studying on that. Just moving up in the world, just helping more people get clean and stay clean, showing them the way, you know, showing people that there is fun stuff that we can do being clean. You know, we float rivers, we try to play softball. We try to do a lot of stuff. We have camp outs. You know, being at a camp out, 150, 200 people clean, you know, like, it's weird. You know, having birthday parties with 40, 50 people and nobody using. Just to keep doing that, you know, keep showing the struggling addict that there is a better life.